So we're on another metal detecting adventure today. This is actually the continuation, more or less, of a hunt that I went on a few days ago where I was looking for a home site that was on a map, and I found the barn, stone walls and stuff. But when I got my cameras out, including the one in my hand, I have two cameras, both the batteries were nearly dead, so I didn't get much of a video. I told you all about that. You've probably already seen that video. I'm trying to keep things in order, but they're probably not going to be exactly in order. So we're going to go back to that home site and with a fresh camera and start digging again. I didn't find a whole lot, but I know it's a pre-Civil War home site because it's right on the map. So I'm very hopeful we'll find a few things, and hopefully the foundation to the house itself, although I did not see it a few days ago. When we were out here before, it was kind of rainy, and I didn't detect up along this stream to the house. We just walked up to it, but I'm going to go ahead and get the detector out, and we're going to work our way up to the stream. So it might take a little while to get up there, you know, up along the stream. But there could be another house down here that's not on the map, and I suspect there probably is, maybe something really old. So we're going to go right along the edge. We're going to look for oyster shells and pottery, listen for iron, and hopefully find an old colonial copper or Spanish silver or Spanish gold coin. I hope we don't get skunked. All right, let me get my stuff together. So I made it back to the area where that old barn was, and I was kind of looking around for the house. I have not dug a single signal yet, but I'm looking at something right here in front of me that I walked right by the other day that I'm almost embarrassed to say I didn't even notice. I mean, I almost tripped over it. I want to see. This is a cemetery here. Now, the barn is down there, the bank barn that I showed you the other day. And we walked up through here. We're actually over there. But this is an old cemetery. I mean, those are oldies right there. Obviously, I'm not going to metal detect right here. I'm going to get outside of that wall right there. It's kind of weird. I mean, the cemetery's here, there's a wall there, and the barn's right down there, but I have no idea where the house is. It's got to be close by. A lot of gravestones. I don't see anything that's marked. Look at them over here, too. That's like old field stones. No markings whatsoever. There's a little bit on that one. I'll see if I can read it. There's some more here. There's a broken one here. See, it's kind of like a little depression here too, and you can see them. That's probably the old graves. Like I said, we're not going to detect in here, but what we'll do is we'll go up in the woods and look around. The house is probably up in here. I haven't been up here yet. We looked over on this side last time. Let's see if we can get a name or a date off any of these. Just never know what you're going to run into out in the woods. One of these had writing. I think it was this one. Let's go look at it. This is the only stone that I can see that has writing on it. I don't see a name or a date. Looks like it says US right there, though, which I think is interesting. Huh. I see like gone May the somethingth, but I don't see a date. There's a 3 over there. There's an X there, but oh well. I'm going to look around a little bit more, see if I can get more information from any of them. I will, I'll call the local historical society and make sure they know about this. I mean, I'm almost certain they do, because it's, you know, well, it's pretty obvious. Not like some of them I've run across in the woods that have just been a few stones sticking up. Alright, look for a couple of minutes and then I'm going to go up in the woods there with you guys and we're going to look around. I looked at these a little bit close, and there is actually a name and date on this one. It's 1821 here. I will check out the name. I was just walking back down toward the bank barn, and there's graves way down here too. I really did almost trip over them the other day. Barn's down there and it comes up, and you can see there's a little rise right here that goes straight across, and I imagine that's the outline of the graveyard. But look, there's stones in here. Well, there's one there. There's a stone. There's a gravestone. There's a gravestone. These are broken one, field stones. And they go all the way up to that wall. Those are the ones we're looking at right there and over by that tree. They go across to the other side. Wow. Didn't see him, and I walked right through there the other day. And that just goes to show you, you never know when you're walking over bodies around anywhere, because people are buried everywhere. I mean, they've been being buried for the last 10,000 years around here, so there's bodies and haints galore when you're out walking the woods like this. So I've gone around and around the barn and the cemetery area on the hills surrounding it, and I have seen no evidence of a house foundation or any concentrations of iron or pottery or anything. So I'm seeing lots of this kind of stuff in the woods where they have stacked rocks up. These vertical rocks, that's natural, that's just limestone. But it looks like they might have made like a little corral here or something for an animal. I don't know, it's hard to say. They might have just dumped them in there. I'm gonna go back by this spring, look around one more time. I found nothing but shotgun shells today. And if we don't find anything, then we're gonna strike out through the woods and do some scouting, see if we can find an old house that just is not on the maps, which is very possible. Let's get to it. Got a wee bit of a cough today again. This flu thingy that just won't go away. It's been like 6 weeks now. Some days I'm good, some days I'm not. And by the way, if you didn't see my other video, I guess I'll go ahead and show you the bank barn and the spring on our way out. I haven't really looked around here much, so there's a lot of iron here, so we'll look around here for a while. This pile of rocks right here is a ramp that they built up to come into the top of the barn. And if you look, those are the walls of the barn over there. And they come around this way, out to that corner, and go this way. So we're actually standing in the bottom of the barn, which is where they would have kept the animals. And up high, they would have been able to bring their wagons in and unload the hay or corn or whatever they were keeping up there. A lot of iron right here. I haven't really detected it much. I just kind of walked across it. And if I find anything good here, you can bet I'm going to show it to you, like as soon as I get out of the ground. All right, let's look around a little bit. I'm going to show you the spring too. And the last time I was here, I found like a copper top to a pot or something. I can't remember exactly, but it was on a rock. Someone had already dug it and left it. I don't see any dig holes, so no one's been here in a long time. So maybe with the newer machines, we might be able to hear some signals they missed. Just digging the hole right here. I got kind of a little squeaky noise, irony, squeaky. But this is what I got out of the hole so far. A nice big square spike and a square nail that looks like it's been burned. See how it's shiny right like that? When they get shiny like that, usually they don't rust too much. And they also give a decent squeak. And I also dug this horseshoe in the same hole that all came out of just right here, and there's probably more there. We got the pinpointer out. Let's just listen. Quick. Yes, there's iron there. Well, I don't know if it's iron or not, but it's all targets there. This whole place is just carpeted. Try to just concentrate on the better signals though. I'll dig some of the bigger iron just in case it's gun parts or it could be a cannonball even. I've dug cannonballs in barns like this. I changed up my rig a little bit today. I still have the Garrett AT Max. Well, I'll show you the program. I'm on 0 with 6 discrimination so that I can hear the iron. I like to hear the iron. But I got the 5x8 loop since I knew we were going to be in a home site, or hopefully be in a home site. We actually haven't found that yet, but we've got the barn. And I'm also digging with a little entrenching tool. This is a U.S. Army entrenching tool that they used. If you ever get one of these, always try to get the one that's actually marked U.S., okay? Now, this is an Ames shovel from '68, so this is Vietnam era. Very sturdy, very heavily made. I like the kind with the pickaxe part on the back. Now, you can fold this to make a shovel you can scrape with, and you can fold that out to make like a pickaxe. If you buy an e-tool like that and it's not marked U.S., it's not going to last long. The foreign manufactured one that you buy that are military are junk. They fall apart, and the repros are junk too. I mean, I wouldn't even spend $1 on those, but if you can get them marked US, pick them up. Yard sales, stuff like that, you can still find them. I just dug this doodad. When I first found it, I thought for sure it was a belt buckle. It is pretty heavy, but I don't think it's a belt buckle. I don't know. That's too big, isn't it? But it looks like it, doesn't it? Is it? Is it a belt buckle from the Civil War? If it is, it's melted. I think it's too big for that. Nah, I see, it's just not the right size, and it's way too big, but it's heavy. Gotta iron something on the back. I'll clean this up and we'll take a look at it. You can see there's a lot of nails in here too. It's a big old square nail and some other pieces of nails and stuff in there. This might be worth just digging out. If we can find one or two halfway decent targets here, I might consider coming back here and just kind of, you know, sifting or something maybe later on when we get time. So I went down to the creek and washed it off. How many can guess that accent? And I wanted to show it to you, that thing I just dug. Right there. It's actually a big old chunk of brass of some kind. It's not the right shape or size for a belt buckle or breastplate or anything. Looks like it's melted. I'd say it's got some iron things melted in the back. Looks like maybe a nail and a hook or something right there. So what that's telling me is that this barn burned down at some point, so that might be why it was abandoned. Alright, let's keep looking. Maybe the next find will be a big old chunk of melted gold. Confederate gold. So I worked my way all around it again, and I'm kind of headed out. I was going to show you the spring on the way out, but I've got a signal against this wall, and I wanted to show you something. This is probably part of the barnyard wall, outside wall, not the barn itself. But look at this. That's old right there, isn't it? That's the first piece of pottery I've seen on this site. That's definitely old. I'll keep that for now. Got a signal right about in here. Somewhere. Yeah. Now there's a lot of junk I've been finding too. Shotgun shells and beer cans and stuff. So it might just be that. Let me grab my shovel. It's right down between these rocks. Probably in that loose stuff. It could be under the rock, but yeah, let's just try that first. There's so many beer cans out here, though. Yeah, I can't hear. I'm going to have to move the shovel. Well, let me just move the shovel, I guess. I don't hear it now. What happened is it was a really good signal, and it sounded like a shotgun shell, but I probably have moved it close to a bunch of iron, so I'll have to fish around here a little bit, and if it's something halfway decent, I'll show it to you. If not, we'll just go check out the spring. Well, I'll just show it to you anyway. It's a shotgun shell. I knocked it way over there. Alright, could have been something good. I'm going to look, you know, put the machine across this wall real quick and we'll continue on down. I'll show you something kind of suspicious. Look at that. That's probably a digger shovel. That's why I'm not finding anything. Oh well, we're going to go ahead and I'll show you the spring right over there. We're going to work our way up the creek. I'm actually going to go ahead and leave this area where the barn is. I'm just not finding anything worth keeping at all. So we'll work our way up the creek. In case you didn't see this in the last video I made here when it was raining, this is the spring head that they have improved, and that's why I thought the house should be right here. Well, of course the barn's right there, but it's possible it could be on that side of the creek, but it's very unlikely that the house would be across the creek. You just don't see that very often, especially from the spring. Let's go ahead and just take another quick peek at this. Since it's not raining, it's much nicer. I thought I saw something in there. You can see how they had the rocks built up here. They probably had a little spring house. There's a cave going up in there, but nothing we can get into, unfortunately. So yeah, they probably had this built up where they could put milk cans and stuff in here. I'm going to look around here just for a few minutes, and then we're going to work our way up the creek about a half a mile or a mile or so, however far we can go, till we hit the fence. And maybe we can find a home site that's not on a map. I'm hoping, because usually there's a bunch of them along creeks like this. You can find maybe 2 or 3, some of them from the 1700s that were gone by 1800. Those are the ones we want to find. This is concrete, so we know that's not very old. But look inside the concrete. It's a well with water in it. I wonder how far down it goes. That's pretty cool. Weird that they would have a well with a spring right there. But, ooh, I'm going to have to watch out for the raccoon manure. And the big spring's right there, and I'm right standing at this well. Of course, you know what that means. We're going to have to come back with the cameras and drop them down there. It's clear, so we'll be able to see whatever's in there. I don't know how deep it is, though. I do see a log sticking in there, so it might not be that deep. We'll come back. I'm just kind of walking around over here across the creek, and this is probably where the house is over here. Because there is more pottery, and I actually see oyster shells. So, not counting the beer bottle, but there's some pottery over here, and it's a little bit of broken glass. Saw some oyster shells too over in here. So, yeah, here's an oyster shell, and That's just a rock, I suppose. But there's no oyster shells on the other side of the creek, so I'm starting to think that the house is actually on this side. Seems odd, but since they had a well here, that makes perfect sense. I'll quit yapping. We'll come back here. Let's go ahead and head up the creek like I was planning to in the beginning. And gotta love oyster shells. Yeah, check out this little hatchet. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Been well used. I don't know if the end's broken off or what, but I like that. You know, I like my iron. Not sure how old it is though. Let's bag it along with the rest of the junk. There's another box turtle shell. On 2 of them the last time I was out here. See where something's been chewing on them. Probably a mouse or a squirrel or something. We'll go ahead and leave that out here for them. It's 3 right in this small area by the spring. What I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and head up the creek, or stream I guess, and we'll look and see if we can find a new house or a new spot. Just not much back there. It's kind of a weird little stone wall. It's one right there and one right there. I don't think it's wide enough to get a wagon in it. Alright, we're going to look down around here a little bit. Hey, it's a little flat area down here. Let's go down here and look around for a few minutes, see if we can find any pottery or oyster shells or King George coins. I have my hopes. I still have good hopes with this place. Not the home site, but another dead turtle. Look at that. That one got smushed. That's 4 box turtle shells that I found in this like 100-yard stretch right here near the spring. Can't be good. Can't be good at all for that population. Alright, let's get back to digging. This had a nice big iron signal here, so I just went ahead and dug it. And it's a big piece of chain. Well, I guess it was probably a swivel at one time. But I've dug a lot of chain today, you know, links and the round parts here. And that tells me that this place has been dug. Of course, those are questionable signals that I'm digging. They're not like sweet coin signals. And the people here who were here before me probably just passed them up. You know, they just cherry picked, which is what I would do what we will do if we find a new spot. Stuck that chain right over there, and I was working my way this direction. That looks like another spring house, or well, spring. Yeah, it is. Look, maybe there'll be a better house here. Yeah, no doubt. That's really bubbling out of there too, isn't it? Look at that. What we'll do is let's just look over here and see if we see any pottery or oyster shells on this hill, because this is where the house would have been, probably right above it. Soil's really dark. See any pottery, oyster shells? I saw something white over here. That's just probably this bark right there. Wow, it's rocky up in here. Look at that. Alright, well, once we turn the metal detector on, we'll know in just 2 or 3 minutes. A little bit flat right up there. It's possible. Well, guys, I kind of hate to do this to you, but I think I'm going to call it quits for the day. I went all around that spring. I didn't find anything worth keeping. Got a bunch of junk today. I think I technically got skunked. I'm going to call it skunked. Let me show you what I found. This is just some of the stuff I kept. Of course, this is that melted piece I found at the barn, which tells me the barn melted. Barn burned. Looks almost like lead on the back with, but that's brass. You can tell it's green. And a bunch of shotgun shells. I think this is probably a fired shotgun slug, casing or two. Some shotgun shells. A lot of these iron rings. Now these things sound pretty decent with a metal detector. I mean, they're a little bit scratchy, but when you're not digging much, you know, we're digging questionable signals. You dig a lot of these things. Of course, you saw the horseshoe, the one chain, the old piece of pottery, and another little melted piece of something. Not sure what that is either. I'm sorry there wasn't a lot of relics and coins and good stuff on this adventure, but when you're looking for new spots, this is often the case. You know, it's feast or famine. Nothing, or you're just loaded with stuff. But we'll keep trying. We'll come back another day. Not here. Look at the well, but that's it, I promise you. Next spot will be good. I hope. We'll see you then. And I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand, and
keep it for eternity. Mother Earth, she's got her secrets